So I think what I'll be doing is still tackling these things, but I think I need to not care about time right now and just like focus on my approach and understanding the problem and understanding how my algorithm and whether it works properly or not. And we'll see what that looks like. I hope it's not too bad. You are given an unordered array consisting of consecutive numbers, oh boy, without any duplicates, so that's interesting. You are allowed to swap any two elements. You need to find the minimum number of swaps required to sort the array in ascending order. For example, given the array blah 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 blah, we perform the following steps. And it takes 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to do. It took 5 swaps to sort this array. Complete the function minimum swaps in the editor below. It must return an integer representing the minimum number of swaps to sort the array. And first, so this swapping technique is, I believe, bubble sort. So that's good that I kind of recognize that, I guess. This idea of like just swapping. So you start at one end and then you basically keep swapping until you have pushed the minimum to one end, basically. So, or in this case, they have the maximum. So, fine, whatever. You have to kind of pick one. And I think that's it. So the way you do this is that you need some way of checking to see if the order is proper. So I think that's, and I'm really trying to focus on just conceptually getting this thing. I'm not going to look at the code yet. Just conceptually, just break it down. So for example, given an array of 4, 3, 2, 1, you swap 0, 4, and 2. Huh. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'm overthinking this, but I don't want to take. I don't want to risk it now. So explanation 2. Given this 2, 3, 4, 1, 5, you swap 2 and 3. You get 2 and 3. You get this. You get the 4 here, and then you get the 1. So it looks like you're trying to like get the lowest number all the way to the right. But you don't just swap them out. You swap here and the next one that you find. Okay, cool. Okay, I think I have an understanding here. So I want to create a helper function. Helper to check order. And remember, these are consecutive numbers, so it's really easy to check that. So what I'm going to do is first check if all so track swaps while not ordered. We have a track iterator. While not ordered, I'm going to start on left and search for min val going left. Start on right. So start on the right, and you literally search, okay, what's the minimum value, and then you keep finding the least value over and over again until you get to all the way to the left, until you get to the iterator. Until at iterator. Then swap. So I need a swap function also. Helper swap function. Okay. And then swap, and then there you go. You keep doing that until it's ordered, and then you return swaps, and then you plus swaps. Okay. I think this makes sense. Let me go through this. Let me actually go through this with one example here. Let's do this example here. 2, 3, 4, 1, 5. Fine, whatever. 2, 3, 4, 1, 5. So 2, 3, 4, 1, 5. All right, so I go through this. I have my iterator, which is at 0. So iterate equals 0. I start on the left. I find the number that's least right now. So here it's 5. Here it's 1, 1, 1. Still 1. And I reach my iterator. I swap these two. So this becomes a 1. This becomes a 2. So that's 1 swap. So swaps become 1 at that point. Then I do it again. And my iterator is now at 1. I go, okay, minimum number 1, 5. Then it's 2, still 2, still 2. I'm at my iterator. 2 and 3 get swapped. Oh, 2. Swaps has gone up to 2. And my iterator has also gone up to 2. Then I keep going. Now 5 is my least. Then it's 3, still 3. 3 and 4 swap. Iterator is at 3. This goes up to 3. And it'll keep going until, and it will recognize that this is now sorted, and it will stop there. So the answer is 3 for that. Is that correct? 3 is for this one. Yep. Okay. So I think this is working. So I'm gonna just start coding it, and we'll see how it works. And by the way, I have to say, like, just having run through the algorithm at least one time with actual hard numbers and seeing, like, oh, this is the logic of it. It does work out. It just like breathes like life into me wanting to actually code it out, because I know coding is going to be a breeze once you understand like the underlying logic of like how the information is flowing. So yeah, so let's do let swaps equals 0. Oops, equals 0. Iteration let I equals 0 while not ordered. Okay, so while is ordered, I should say not ordered. All right. Okay, so swap left, right. So this is my algorithm for swapping. I'm not going to code that right now. Swaps and I plus plus. Okay. Let me I have a swap function here. Yeah, okay, cool. Start on the right. So let me say let min val equal infinity for a second. And then I'll do a for loop basically. For, and then we're gonna go backwards. For let j equal array dot length -1. So being familiar with like how to go backwards through an array is also a good skill to work on. So j is greater than or equal to I think it's okay to be equal in that case. But well, what the heck was that? Okay. We need to say, okay, if our j is greater than min val, then, sorry, it's less than min val, because you're less than, then min val is now equal to that. And my target position equals r.length, because that's where I start out. So r.length -1, I should say. Which, yeah. Okay, that's fine. My target position equals j now. Okay. Cool EOS. And then you do the swap. Once you've gone through that, you know what the minimum is. You can swap those positions, and I could literally just call swap on I and j. No, I in target position. I think that should work. I just need to code up my swap function and my isOrdered function. So let's just take an array. It should take I and j. Let me just make sure I had supplied the array in that argument. Okay, and it's literally like stored value equals stored is equal to array I, array j, sorry, array I equals array j, then array I is now equal to the stored value, and that is that. Consecutive numbers check. So here I'm calling it isOrdered array. So I'm thinking, I believe you can iterate. I'm just gonna go through it the regular way. I don't know why I'm gonna get more complicated. I just think there's like a way of doing it with like the for each loop, but whatever, it's fine. I equals 0, I is less than array.length. I always spell length weird, of course. All right, and then this is literally our if ri is not equal to I plus 1, return false. Return true. Okay, so I think these are working. Let's run some code and see what's going on. I don't know how long it took me, and I think my while loop. Oh yeah, there we go. Out of memory. I mean, fantastic. So that's a great start to this. So effectively, my while loop is out of whack. So let me just double check that this thing is working. Okay. False. Okay, yeah, that's true. So this function is working. I'm thinking my logic here is not working quite well. So let me nix this for a second and just say while I is less than like 10, and we'll see what happens after that. I'll console.log my array and see what swaps are going on. Very sorry for the loud noise, by the way. It looks like it's adding stuff, so I'm having a problem here with it looks like my swaps are not quite right, my I, and I think it has to do with this being less than or equal to I, potentially. So do I want to check I? No, because I cannot swap with I. So the answer is no. Still undefined. Okay, still a lot of stuff there. So it's swapping improperly. I forgot to put J there. Yes. Okay. Try again. Oh, a lot of undefined. So why is it? Where are we getting all these undefineds from? It's just adding a bunch of. Oh crap. What the heck? Run again. So I get for like swiping too much on my mouse. So what's happening is somewhere that I'm changing it, which is definitely this. So the target position starts out at length minus 1, which is what it is. Subtract. Well, j is greater than I, which is true. Let me see also if like min value is working too. And this swapping is what's causing a lot of issues, so I'm not going to swap for a second and just see if that's. I mean, that's the only way. That's the only place that it is doing a swap, right? min value infinity. Oh, am I wrong about that? RJ minus. So why are you going up? Why are you going up at all? Min value is 1, 1. Min value is 1, period. So actually, I think this equal sign is... No, you don't need equal. The first time you go through it, min value is 1. The second time you go through it... Oh, because I'm not swapping, so... Wait, I'm not swapping, so it should always be 1. At least the array is not changing, though. But what's the deal? The j is changing. Oh, the j is changing. So the array length... So it's the j, for sure. J is starting out too far, I think. J is 3, min value is infinity. You're doing that 10 times because... so that's the 10 times happening, not the swapping. So... that's more proper, and I think that was my problem. That's what I was seeing before. You know, of course, that's what I was seeing before. It wasn't, nothing was growing. It was the fact that I kept saying, the length. Okay. Okay, so it does get ordered. The problem is the last value is infinity, and it doesn't swap out. Actually, at that point, you don't need to go. You can literally just say while r. Actually, I don't need to do the while loop either, because the logic dictates that it is ordered at this point. So actually, I don't need to do the order check. Right? So that's one. Oh, okay. So it is that way. So it seems like I still need to do one more swap afterwards. So what is not catching then? For whatever reason, it goes one more, and I'm not sure why. So I think I should do I minus 1. You don't want to go to I. Right? You don't want to go to I, because I is... Wait, you don't go to I, though. Alright, so... sorry. Alright, so I'm... trying to finish up this coding challenge. It's kind of late, so I'm trying to keep my voice down, but I realize now that one of the issues here was the length. We see that I'm always spitting out basically the length of the array. But that's because this while loop is not stopping appropriately, and I regret having cut out that helper function that I made, because the stopping criteria for this is when the array is sorted properly. So I need to reinstate that here just to see if it works properly. I shouldn't, and you know what, looking back, I should not have deleted it. I should have just not used it or commented it out. I should just delete my work. So bad on me for that. Okay, so there's one issue here. So everything else was fine. So the function is working properly, except for this situation. I see. Okay, so in this case, the 1 is already in the right position, which is what's messing up the algorithm. Because I'm assuming that it needs to be swapped. So I need to put a condition here. So I need to say if okay, so if array I equals min val, then just continue, because you don't need to swap basically, and it was already in the right position. Okay, so I messed something up here. I should have incremented the I. Ooh, but wait, the swap. Okay, so I just need to like put a little more logic in here. Okay, so as long as the value at the current position is not the minimum value, then do the swap. Otherwise, you don't need to swap, and you don't need to increment the swap. So that should be fine. That's a good test situation, actually. Okay, so that looks like it works. I'm going to submit. I don't think there's anything else I do different. Submit here. Oh, I don't need to console log this. Whoopsie daisy. Ooh, test case 14. Interesting. So I'm assuming these are like the big. These are usually near the end. They're like the big arrays that they have some like nuance with it being a very large size. So, and also it takes a while. So, kind of let you know. Okay, so now I need to start thinking about like optimizing. Right now, so I'm missing 4 of these cases, and it's a time limit thing, so it's definitely the efficiency of the algorithm. So that's something I need to consider. Yeah, so we're told. Oop. Yeah, geez, that's enough. So we're told that it could be at max 10 to the 5th. So that's a pretty big array. How do we? So one thing that's inefficient is doing this. Doing this is ordered thing. Okay. So if there's another way of checking or kind of cheating that this is the case, then that would be ideal. So here's the. I think here's the thing. We can actually increment I before hitting this loop. Or should I say, maybe I should position I here. Okay. Position I in front of next in proper value. Because we know what the order needs to be. So that would mean this is not necessary either. Okay. So I'm going to make this I less than array.length. And I'm going to run something like I equals next position array I. And I want to do that here as well. So I don't need to start at 0 necessarily. I just need to put it in the right position first. And that should be fairly quick-ish to do. because you start at the current I. So that should be pretty quick. So I guess I'm deleting this again. But no, I'm gonna be good. I'm just gonna like comment it out just so I can keep it technically. And next position. Oh shoot. Excuse me. All right, so basically, I'm actually gonna copy some of this because this is quite valid for this situation. I start I, so I just say while array I is equal to I plus 1 increment I, and then return the I for that. Okay. It's actually just like okay. I think that's good. I think that should do it. So I don't need this anymore because it only hits on the only position that it goes to is one that is not in the right position. So let's run the code to see if it works. I is not defined in let I equal. Correct. So 0 is where you start for that one. Okay, so it looks like it goes well. Looks like it still works. So let's submit. Hopefully it's a bit more efficient now. Let's look for any more efficiencies. And 14. Man, I thought I was done with this already, but I guess not. Alright, well, let's see if it's time. Yeah, these are timed out, so these are little clocks, so that's 4 that didn't time out. So these are just large arrays. I mean, I am doing the bubble sort algorithm, and it is not the most efficient. So I might have to, I don't want to do another one where I think I also understand one thing. Also, the order is all consecutive, right? Consecutive integers. Okay, that actually makes sense then. So in that case, we know what we're looking for. We know what we're looking for, so we could just literally swap them. We can just do a find on the array. We don't need to do a whole search, right? We know where J is. We know what the value is because we know I. So we know the min value is I plus 1. And we know the target position is going to be find min val. I'm so silly. Oh my god. Okay. So hold on. I don't actually need to do the swap then, do I? Because I'm not traversing the thing. Or maybe I should, because when I get to that point, it needs to be proper or not, right? So I think this is actually fine to do. The plus. So I plus 1, comma expected. What are you talking about? That's it? Oh, come on. Okay. Find 1 is not a function? What do you mean 1 is not a function? Okay. JavaScript arrays find. It should return the index, right? I think. Maybe it's index of. Ugh. Oh, it's I'm so silly. So yeah, find is not the one. It's index of. Or I think so. Index of, yeah. Yep. Index of. Okay, so that should be fine. Oh my goodness. Why is it so difficult? Okay, so that works. And let's submit that. So I think you still need to do the swap though, the actual like in position array swap. Wow, that was more efficient than I could have thought of actually. Dang it, why didn't I think of that? So 14 passed though, so that's good. Man, so I would have definitely failed this already, because this is what, is this a medium? Yeah, it's a medium, so it's man, I'm also like stressed out because I'm freaking so apprehensive about tomorrow's technical, because I know it's going to be a hard one. You know, I know it's going to be probably one of the hardest ones I've ever had to do. So it's just like, I'm not ready for that. I'm really ready for this medium, you know? So, man, why do I need to stress out about this silly thing? Alright, so next position, booyah, that works. These do not execute in time. I'm going to do a little bit of just snooping around on the discussions, because I'm really struggling to understand what more efficient thing I can do. So the idea of index of is the issue, because I guess this is inefficient. Because you are doing an index of on a large array. Oh, this looks elegant. Index of range. Okay, so this is Python. While the range index is not equal to that, we swap, and then you just keep swapping basically. So this is more like what I was thinking about. Yeah, I think this is so the convenience here is that everything is in the right order, so you can actually use the number itself as the indices, and that's what I'm not doing actually here. Like, I'm actually finding it, but you don't need the index of. So you don't need the index of, because when the value that is improperly in this the news plate, okay, the value that is improperly in the place that it is can be found, you have to like remember that the place that it's supposed to be also has an improper number. So you just like look there, and then you just basically keep looking at the places that are improperly placed and swapping on those. So that makes sense. So I don't need to do this index of, because yeah, it's the inefficient part here. So I'm gonna block it out. This also is like more akin to my own reasoning. Like, this is very much what I was thinking to begin with, sort of. So this basically requires another while loop. This is while array I is not equal to sorry, plus, was it minus? Wait. Yes, okay. So if the value is not equal to the value minus 1, which is the indices, no, it's I. So if I is not equal to the position minus 1, or you could also say like 1 plus, and then just that, same thing. So while you're not in the right position, we want to basically keep swapping. So the target position is actually the current, it is whatever the value is in there, but it's position, so it's minus 1. And you swap with I. You swap with, no, sorry, you swap with array I minus 1. Sorry, the position. Trying to be consistent, okay? So while I is not equal to that position, you basically swap I with whatever is at the whatever improper value is at the other position that the current value is supposed to be at. So you swap there. So that means I is actually not the right value, potentially, and
you just keep swapping with that until you get to I, which will eventually be the case, I think. Yeah, because there's always going to be something that's out of position. You don't need this min val. You don't even need to deal with values at all. You just keep track of all the swaps. Okay, I think that would do it actually. Okay, that worked very quickly. And let's do submit code. Holy crap. Jesus. I understood what happened. This is much more understandable for me, by the way. So, especially like creating another whole other array. You don't need to do that. This was good. I like this. This was a good question. A nice medium. Anyway, I'm going to call it a night here. I wish you the best. Have a good night. Bye-bye.